Well, good morning. Today is Thursday, January 13th, on my way into the day job. And yesterday got into the office, and lo and behold, first thing out of the chute, computer wanted to do an update. And so I got a little bit of a slow start. I didn't really get up and running until about 9 o'clock in the morning. So my quiet time where I don't get any phone calls and whatnot was waiting for a computer. So I just tried to use that time wisely instead of just sitting there watching the screen. Go from 0 to 100% and reboot and wait for it to finish starting up. I ate breakfast, did things around the office, etc. And that's a really important skill. Try to manage your time as much as possible. Get things done, and instead of just sitting there waiting. Time is the most precious commodity that we have. So I did get some stuff done, set myself up for the rest of the day. I did print up the table of contents inside of the Word document so that I could start tracking all the information that I'm pulling over into that document from OneNote. I did get some good progress done there. I ran into a little stumbling block that I'm going to have to break down into smaller pieces just because it's so time consuming and cumbersome, and that's the scans. And some of the scans were just a formula, which I copied all those over into the Word document, and that's like learning a different language, which I'm going to have to embrace and become a master at. But the other ones were like taking screenshots, and some of the scans have like 5 different areas with settings that need to be screenshotted and clipped and then put into the Word document. And then, of course, as we're going through these different strategies, we need to come up with our own scans, which is going to be more of the same. So in order to overcome that, like I said, I'm going to have to break that down just to try and get some of them done on a daily basis in order to complete that task, instead of just trying to plow through it and putting everything else on hold. The benefit of highlighting the table of contents as we move that stuff over is some of the information is so small that it doesn't need to be broken down and put into a readable format, and so we're able to just move that stuff over. So I think currently the Word document is up to like 60 pages of information that we brought over, and this potential of probably being a 500-page document. So we're about 1/10 of the way there. Hopefully going to be able to hit the ground running this morning and get a lot of that stuff done. Move over more of that information so that we know what stuff we have to focus on and make it readable. So last night there was no primary source of after-hours work. Wednesday night for the secondary job was low volume, and we did make our goal, our financial goal. It just wasn't like it is on Monday, and things are going to change as football starts to come to an end, because Monday night, Thursday night games were probably higher volume, where people would actually have a family get together. They wanted to just sit down and enjoy the football game. And so the dynamics of the industry of the secondary source of income do change, which is an important thing to recognize, because the same type of seasonal, cyclical things happen inside the market. So just being aware of that, kind of brings us into the markets as well, that the same type of cyclical, seasonal stuff happens in the markets as well. So the challenge with reaching our financial goal is that it's almost like a jail sentence, if you will. It's just putting in the time, actually doing it, kicking that total up higher every single day that we do the additional work, and reduce the spending so that we're able to sock away more money. And right now, it's like it's at least a year to 2 years of just putting away money, and then we have to be good at doing the investing, so that we can make that 10%. But like we talked about before, currently, if there's $1,000 socked away inside of a brokerage account, that should be able to produce $100 a month. So Dave Ramsey, his philosophy is sock away $1,000 emergency fund, which we already have, and then he wants you to start doing a debt snowball. But the problem is you've got that $1,000 of security, but it's just plugging away at the debt and not trying to increase any of the debt, still reducing the spending, to pay that down. Whereas on the other hand, if we keep on socking away that money, that $1,000 should produce $100 of additional income, which in a sense would pay one of the credit cards' monthly fee. The challenge is, that still is not reducing down the debt, but you can see that as we go from $1,000 to $2,000, say $2,000 would produce $200, and we could take that. Like I said, $2,000 should produce $200. We could take that $200 and apply it towards the debt, have zero security, but take that $2,000 and wipe out a credit card, which would only free up, say, $60, $70 of cash flow. And so I'd much rather pile it up to have the security, to know that we have the ability to produce that income, than wipe out the debt. And then the question is, if you really have the assets piled up, even though you've got the liability, right, then are you really in debt? Because at any point in time, you could wipe that out and be at zero. So just some interesting things, to stop and think about. We're just, like I said, working hard, piling up the cash. I do have to make some financial transactions today in order to cover the Acorn funds that are getting pulled out, and I've got some bills that are going to come due just prior to our day job paycheck on next Thursday. And so, again, little stress in the environment, nothing that we can't, handle, but it's just frustrating that we're just slightly off as far as the money coming in to meet the need. And so I have to cover myself, Nice thing is that the bank does allow things to go into overdraft status, and gives me that day to cover it before they start charging an overdraft fee. And so I'm trying to be preemptive so that I don't have to deal with that type of stuff. And for me, this is like the game of life. And, some people like to just sit there and play video games, but they're wasting away, like we talked about at the beginning of this video, that most precious commodity, time. And they're wasting away that time. Now, do they get some skills by playing those video games? Yeah, they enhance their decision-making process, et cetera, their hand-eye coordination, maybe relationships if they're playing, more than a one-player, game, in order to be able to, work together as a team, in order to be able to conquer some level to get to the next level. I personally would much rather take all that information and find somebody else to go play a 2-player game, 4-player game, etc., of the game of life and finances, in order to be able to go on out there and invest and trade, etc., to be able to go make cash and bring in more cash flow in order to be able to enhance our lifestyle and increase our security. So I'd much rather learn from those mistakes, not to get to the next level in a video game, but rather take those skills and take myself to the next level in lifestyle and security. So that's my take on game playing and whatnot. So all the stuff that we're doing right now is similar to like reading the rules and understanding the game. So those rules are constantly changing and in flux, and we're constantly having to look at things and approach them with a different strategy in order to be able to succeed, which I'm like, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm willing to let people change the rules of the game, and if I want to get that ultimate dollar, and it's going to take me a little bit more in order to be able to get that, because they're going to take away more, say, in taxes and penalties, etc., then I just work a little bit harder, work a little bit smarter. We have a noggin up here, and if we can fill it with the information and apply that information to be able to take action, then we're going to be able to achieve the end result that we're looking for. So we're just keep plugging away. It's like I said, it was almost like a jail sentence. Every day it's like, just kicking the can a little bit further, but while we're in jail, we're trying to grab a book, read, enhance our skills or whatever, so that as those funds become available, and we have the skills, to be able to attach to those funds, to be able to go make the cash, that we're able to hit the ground running. So Brianna did reach out to us yesterday, and it wasn't to talk about us or me or any of stuff going on in life. It was to have us watch Shy while she goes on a vacation to Disneyland with her nieces and nephews and with her sister, and so that's fine. I had a rejected call from her yesterday because I was at work and I can't really take the phone calls while I'm at the day job, and she did reach out to Tracy, and Tracy said that she'd be willing to watch Cheyenne while they go on their trip. And I also had Fabio reach out to me half-heartedly, if you will, just good afternoon, how are you today? And my reply back was good, and you. And I don't know if he wrote something and forgot to hit send, but that was the end of the conversation. So he reached out, I replied, threw it back into his court, and got no response. So like I said, I'm not really worried about the drama. He's going to do what he's going to do. I'm tired of trying to drive him and motivate him. I'm still being a friend and still sending him the Darren Daily videos, whether or not he's watching them, which he doesn't have the time to watch those videos. So as a result, he's got a little tidbit and he's off and running, and then he's hitting a wall again. He needs to do this stuff on a regular basis in order to be able to enhance his skills and take his business to the next level. I've told him that this is how I work. I just want updates, and of course I'm not getting any updates, so it's just kind of frustrating to me. So I'm just like, whatever. And so that's where that's at. I'm guessing he has or has not gotten any information on getting a new engine or a transmission. I'm sure at some point in time soon he's going to be asking for more funds. And currently we're at $2,100 of the potential $5,000 that it's going to take to get that vehicle back into my possession. And so until we get an update and can move this thing forward, we're just kind of on standby. So I'm at work. I'm going to run inside and hit the ground running and focus on kicking this down the road a little bit further. So hopefully tonight we'll have some secondary work from the primary job, or secondary work, definitely have that ability for the second source of income. And so right now we're on a good pace to make some good money and well beyond what we're projecting. So and the other thing that I need to do, I do have an Excel spreadsheet, or I should say a Google sheet, which projects out where it is that we actually need to be. I need to migrate that over and add a column from what we project to where we're physically at, and that's also something that I'd like to get done within the next couple of weeks. So, all right, you guys have a great day, and keep moving forward, and we shall talk to you again tomorrow. Love you. Bye.